All right, so this video is going to get us started on our second activity called Sean's Lemonade Stand. And I tried to make this easy for you to just pull the information. So what I'd like for you to do is open up your spreadsheet unit file, and you'll notice you have your tabs down here. We're going to go into the Lemonade tab for this one. And then attached to this lesson, I've given you a file called the Spreadsheet Unit Master. So if you open this one up, you'll notice the tabs down here. We're going to go to the Lemonade one or Lemon one. And I've given you some information that you're going to be working with instead of having you retype it all in. So what I'd like for you to do is, if you notice up here in cell A1, select that cell, and then using your shift key and your right arrow on your keyboard, you can easily hold down the shift key and tap that arrow over to the right and then down to the bottom. And I've given you some green lines to show you the perimeter of what you need to copy. So once you have that section copied or highlighted, then you can either right click and copy it, or you can hit Control C on your keyboard and that will copy that information. And I want you to go into your own file in the Lemonade tab, and here in A1, I simply want you to Control V, which pastes. Control V is in victory. And that should paste that information there. Now you'll notice when you initially start, you'll have some things kind of scrunched up, and I like to give myself some space. So if you take your mouse and rest it in between the A and B column identifiers, you can left click and drag that over and widen some of these columns. It's just a personal preference, but I like for my words to actually be on the same line. That is completely up to you, but I'm going to widen that a little bit and give myself some space there. So what we're going to do is take the information that Sean has already prepared, and he wants to find out his summer business summary up here. He wants to know his sales, his expenses, and then probably the most important part is the profit, what he makes, the money that he can put toward his gaming system. So you'll notice that Sean has organized his details based on month. He wanted to keep track of his sales and expenses. Sales, how much he sold, and then expenses, how much money he actually had to put in toward ingredients and materials. And then using those two elements will give us his true profit. So you'll notice here he has June sales and expenses, and he color coded it to where anytime you see information on June, it's going to be that cobalt blue color. He did the same with July. He kept the same statistics, only he color coded July purple, and then down here he color coded August this pink color. All right. Same information, but different numbers. So let's go back up here and focus on our June sales and expenses. So he has listed his ingredients and everything that he had to spend himself. And you'll notice he spent $10 on lemons in June, $2 on sugar, $3 on cups, and then $5 toward advertising his company. Now we want to find the total expenses, and when we see the word total, we know we're going to be adding. So you will take his first value there and highlight. You can either use the shift key and arrow down. You'll want to also include this last cell. That is where our total will appear. And then simply go up here to home. Locate this sum symbol, which is kind of like a sigma. If you click on that little down arrow, choose sum. And you'll notice that it drops his total expenses. So we want to take this information and plug it in up here under June. To do that, notice the cell address of that total, C14. We can go into our expenses in June, type the equal sign, C14. It'll identify what cell you're dealing with, and when you hit enter, the total should now appear there as well. Okay, it simply copied that cell. Now we want to find out his sales for June. And that's where he has organized his information here. His total sales for June, $40, is in cell F11. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to equal F11, hit enter, and that number is then copied to that cell. Now we need to figure out what his true profit is, what he actually, the amount of money he's taken in. So we want to take his expenses, the money that he has spent, from his sales. So we're going to take $40 minus 20. And we want that value to appear here next to profit. The formula for that is equal sign, and then B4, and then the hyphen or the minus sign, B5. So now we know we want to take B5 from B4, and when we hit enter, that's how much he truly profited in June. All right, so I'm going to let you go ahead and finish this by doing July and August. And when you're done, I'd like for you to total your sales, your expenses, and finally his profit here. You can either use the highlight method, or you can use the formula to add instead of minus. Okay, and this is the section that you will have when you're completely done with everything. All right, thank you.